Order, Madam Speaker.
Good morning, honorable members. We will now start with a silent prayer or meditation. Amen. Once more, greetings to all of you, honorable members, to this special sitting that we have. We will now go straight to the item number 2 on the order paper, which is announcements by the Speaker. The first announcement is the reason for the sitting. Honorable members, thank you for making yourselves available for today's special sitting. The Office of the Speaker was advised to call a special sitting in order to comply with the National Council of Provinces processes and to enable the Legislature to participate in the mandate required at the NCOP. Today's special sitting is being held to deal with the conferral of a final mandate on the National Health Insurance Bill, B11B 2019. I trust that all of you honorable members will find this to be in order. Honorable members will go to the next one, which is on a role on virtual sittings. You are all reminded that this is a special sitting with members having connected virtually. The sitting will be conducted in terms of our standing rules, starting with Rule 288 that speaks to 288.4 that speaks to party voting, which states that the presiding officer or chairperson must before or at the start of the discussion on the matter expressly inform members if a party vote will be taken. In line with the above, honorable members, I confirm that voting will take place on the National Health Insurance Bill B11B 2019. A party vote is a collective vote on behalf of all the members of a party present at a virtual sitting, up to the total membership of that party in the sitting. I will, however, allow an opportunity for any individual member to vote differently from his or her party, or to abstain if any member wishes to do so. Honorable members, we will now proceed with the rest of the items on the order paper. The next one, which is 2.3, is apologies. We have received and processed an apology from the Honorable Mr. M.E. Phakathi, the member from the ATM, who has a family commitment. We'll go on to the following order, which is announcement or reports by the Premier. Honorable Premier, any announcements? Honorable Premier? Honorable members, am I audible from your side?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, honorable members. I'm waiting for an honorable Premier or someone from the executive leader of government business or whoever is so delegated by the OTP. I will take it then that there's no announcements. If this continues, there's no announcements for now. We'll indulge the OTP at a later stage. We'll go to item number 4, which is formal motions or notices by the Chief Whip. I now present the opportunity for the Chief Whip to present motions or notices. Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip, I can see that you are in the meeting. There is James Ngumalo, and I also can see that I'm trying to look for the Deputy Chief Whip.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes. Any motion or notices? Show the face, Chief Whip. Show your face, Chief Whip. Thank you.
Greetings, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, and Honorable members. I must indicate that, Honorable Speaker, there are no motions or notices. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Whip, who will now move to the next item, which is item 5 on the order paper, which is the order of the day, a debate and voting on the conferral of a final mandate on the National Health Insurance Bill, B11B 2019. And to start off the debate, we are going to call upon the Honorable Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health, the Honorable N.R. Majola, for 5 minutes to table the report of the committee. Khoi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Premier, the Executive, the colleagues, the viewers, good morning. The National Health Insurance Bill, B11B, stroke 2019, before the Portfolio Committee seeks to achieve the universal access to quality health care in the public in accordance with the Section 27 of the Constitution, to establish a National Health Insurance Fund and to set out its powers, functions, and governance structures, to provide a framework for the strategic purchasing of healthcare services by the fund on behalf of the users, to create mechanisms for the equitable, effective, and efficient utilization of the resources of the fund, to meet health needs of the population, to preclude or limit undesirable, unethical, and unlawful practices in relation to the fund and its users, and to provide for matters connected therewith.
Honorable Majola, to save your connectivity, you can switch off your video.
NHI Fund as a legal. Hello?
You can switch off your video so that you save your connection.
Thank you. Thank you. The bill establishes National Health Insurance Fund as a legally defined organ of the state, which will be a single purchaser and single payer of the healthcare services in the Republic. The bill seeks to define beneficiaries of services covered by the NHI Fund, including population registration. The bill also provides for the contracting of accredited providers of healthcare services and allows for the minister to determine criteria for accreditation and reimbursement of the healthcare providers. The bill further provides for the minister to determine healthcare benefits that will be reimbursed through the NHI Fund, as well as the service coverage and cost measurement provisions. What is it that has been done by the committee? The committee held a special meeting on the 23rd of June 2023 to receive a briefing from the Department of Health in terms of Rule 260, subsection 1. The committee then resolved to hold 11 public hearings in all districts, considering the nature of the bill, since it introduces a new legal framework in the health sector and affects everyone in the province as healthcare service users and providers. But because of the financial constraints, as such, the hearings were reduced to 6 to ensure maximum consultation within the available resources of the legislature. However, the following observations of the changing of the venues at short notice for Umgungundlovu district, which could have caused confusion and curtailed maximum public participation in both Hopewell Hall and KwaDambuza Community Hall, and in order to ensure that committee does not fall foul of the consultation of the Constitutional Court judgment in the Mokhale case, the Honorable Speaker authorized that a further public hearing be held at Umgungundlovu district to cover both venues. The committee thus conducted 7 public hearings at Umgungundlovu, Umkhanyakuche, Amajuba, Uku, Umzinyati, and Herikwala. The members of the Portfolio Committee met on the 27th of October 2023 to adopt the report and confer its negotiating mandate, and the majority voted in support of the bill, subject to concerns raised in the report being addressed by the department. The IFP abstained, the DA did not support the bill. The chairperson and some members of the Portfolio Committee attended the select committee meetings held on the 4th of November, 7th of November, and 9th of November 2023, wherein the department was reporting on all the concerns and proposals raised by all provinces on their negotiating mandate reports. Noting that the Select Committee was meeting in the morning of the 14th of November 2023 to consider the negotiating mandates of provinces, this was short notice to call a portfolio committee meeting and go through the department's responses. The chairperson then exercised her discretion and opted to invoke Rule 146.5B111 of the KwaZulu-Natal Standing Rules to amend the committee report to unconditionally support the bill in its current form, since the department's responses were addressing the portfolio committee's concerns and reported back to the committee on its virtual meeting held on the 16th of November 2023 to consider the final minutes of the Select Committee. The committee noted that 8 provinces supported the bill, with the exception of the Western Cape provincial parliaments that requested an extension of the 17th of November 2023. The majority of members of the portfolio committee voted in support of the current bill, whilst together with the minority parties, whilst the IFP abstained and the DA did not support the bill. In conclusion, Honourable Speaker, the committee recommends that the legislature must confer authority on 1, the KZN provincial delegation to the NCOP to cast a vote in favour of the National Health Insurance Bill B11B/2019 at the relevant NCOP Select Committee, and 2, to the head of the provincial delegation to the NCOP or a delegate designated by the head of the delegation to cast a vote in favour of the National Health Insurance Bill B11B/2019 at the NCOP plenary. Honourable Speaker, this is the report of the final and voting mandate on the National Health Insurance Bill. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable. Your time was up. Now I will call upon the Honourable NPF Mavuso on behalf of the ANC for 7 minutes.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, may I be allowed to switch off the camera due to connectivity challenges, please? Am I allowed?
If you say it's due to connectivity challenges, but may we check that you are in the car properly? You are not driving, Honourable Member, because
no, I'm not driving, Honourable Speaker.
Okay, then you can continue.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, honourable members of the Legislature of KwaZulu-Natal, distinguished guests. The African National Congress is committed to seeing this bill passed as a tribute to our people, especially the underprivileged, from the numerous gatherings over the years to this moment. It is true that the road we have travelled is long and full of hope, but the road ahead is undoubtedly still long. Centuries of poverty, inequality, and underdevelopment cannot be erased in less than 30 years of the democratic rule. Honourable Speaker, into engiyithandayo about our government is that it has been able to place the agenda of a quality system of national health care at the centre without being populist. I will therefore focus most of my debate on dealing in refuting this assertion and, most importantly, shouting at this slogan that says, "Forward ever, backwards never." The African National Congress affirms its commitment to the ideal enshrined in the 1955 Freedom Charter, which states that a preventative health scheme shall be run by the state. Free medical care and hospitalization shall be provided for all, with special care for mothers and the young children, unquote. Since 1994, the African National Congress-led government has passed many pieces of legislation. This clearly demonstrates our commitment of the constitutional provision that all citizens must enjoy equality in all walks of life. Therefore, the passing of the NHI bill this morning is a significant moment in the lives of our people, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal. The long-awaited NHI is a necessary legal framework that will transform the fractured and inequitable national health system and will continue to strengthen the public and private sector as one, a unitary, non-racial, accessible, efficient and equitable and good quality health system for all. Further, this bill charts a good path towards universal health coverage and the attainment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 3. Equally, the liberation movement is committed to good governance at all levels, led by a board of professionals charged with fiduciary accountability and with zero tolerance to corruption and unnecessary interference. Somlom, the activist people-centered KwaZulu-Natal Legislature has played an important role in the implementation of this bill through our recent public hearings announced and unannounced oversight visits in most parts of the province and other committee work during this term, which has allowed us as members of this august house and the people of KwaZulu-Natal to participate in lawmaking, which is a constitutional requirement that affords our people to partake in legislative proceedings. I'm mentioning some of these developments because the honorable members of the opposition said that this is unimaginative. Therefore, when they speak of protection from fear, they often mean taking away our freedom. Honorable members, individuals like Khayelihle Zondi from Umvoti local municipality, Umzinyati district, have long anticipated this initiative. I recall him reflecting on the important issue of equality, which he deems to enable him to take his parents to access private hospitals where and when necessary, particularly for this father who is currently being treated for glaucoma at one of tertiary hospitals in Umgungundlovu district, where previously he was unable to assist his father to undergo this medical procedure due to the issue of bookings and non-availability of medical funds, which are usually depleted around this time. Admittedly, Lindelani Katini also highlighted a few service policies and programs that we need to review to accommodate NHI to ensure a well-functioning social development and economic growth. Equally, the state of our infrastructure conditions, services, and customer services at a few of clinics and hospitals from various districts will be rectified as the department has initiated and funded a lot of projects that our people are presently and will soon benefit greatly from. And most outstandingly, we will speed up the implementation date. Further, the African National Congress understands that the right of everyone to have access to healthcare services is not a cosmetic right. It is a fundamental right whose limitation should not come lightly. Therefore, as the caring organization on Chapter 2, Clause 2 has proposed that the NHI Act must be clear about the need for all, especially illegal immigrants, to comply with the provisions of all South African laws, especially the Immigration Act. These unenviable situations in which our people find themselves indicate that more needs to be done to support and assist our people that are vulnerable and marginalized. This bill seeks to provide a framework in which our people can live their lives in dignity and realizing the values of the Constitution. Somlomo Sengvala, the African National Congress, unequivocally supports the NHI bill that is before the legislature. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mavuso. The next member for 5 minutes is the Honorable Jane Kwanyana on behalf of the IFP.
Thank you, Chairperson. Greetings to greetings to the members of the legislature, and a special greeting to our leader of the official opposition, Honorable MP Kwan.
Honorable Ngwanyana, your face, please.
I'm trying to open the camera, Chairperson. I think it's fine. The IFP is aware that the objective of the NHI bill is to provide universal access to quality healthcare for all South Africans as entrenched in the Constitution. The Constitution recognizes healthcare
as a fundamental human right. It states that everyone has the right to have access to health care services. The state must take reasonable legislative and other measures within its available resources to achieve the progressive realization of these rights, and no one may be refused emergency medical treatment. After Parliament passed the National Healthcare Insurance Bill, the IFP invited various experts and stakeholders on a two-day health and welfare summit in Johannesburg in July this year to explore how the NHI will be implemented in South Africa, its pros and cons, and how sustainable its system will be. The IFP believes that the commitment to implementing NHI needs to be complemented by a commitment that is as strong, in fact, stronger, to what needs to be done to fix the healthcare services. While some form of NHI is needed and could provide much needed reform in the healthcare system, it should not be seen as a silver bullet that would magically solve all the problems in the healthcare system. Stated simply, Madam Speaker, we should not wait for NHI before addressing the various problems plaguing our healthcare system. During its Health and Wellness Summit, the IFP stated clearly that it supports universal access to healthcare, but it has serious concerns about the governance of the NHI moving forward. Firstly, we believe that having one single user pay system managed by the government and all other taxpayers' money going into that kitty. We know that what kind of history the government has in terms of managing funds. We have seen failed state-owned enterprises. We have seen billions of rands being poured in state-owned enterprises. The IFP believes that for the NHI to succeed, you need to have a high rate of employment by ensuring that healthcare facilities have enough staff. The decay infrastructure in hospitals and clinics is another major concern, accompanied by long queues, Madam Speaker. How can we send our loved ones to government facilities that are falling apart and lack the basic equipment to operate effectively? Madam Speaker, there is also no clarity at this point with regards to what services will fall under the NHI and what services will be in the complementary cover that medical aids will provide. Further, corruption is rampant in the country and the abuse of public funds. Therefore, how sustainable the funding will be, how it will be managed, and how the NHI fund will be protected against corruption or abuse. Madam Speaker, the IFP abstains to this NHI bill. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nkwanyana. The next member for 4 minutes is the Honorable E.V. Bapti of the DA.
Good morning, Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues. The model we are faced with in the National Health Insurance Bill is one that centralises all purchasing and payment for health services in the country in the hands of government and puts enormous power in the hands of the Minister of Health. It is an anti-democratic, anti-competition system premised on the mythical belief that putting total control in the hands of government is the most effective way to deliver a quality service. International trends in health are going in the other direction, seeking out partnerships with private healthcare to give their citizens the best service both can offer within the confines of their economy. If this myth were true, we would not be living today with an economy in decline, a young population largely unemployed, collapsing energy services, water services in crisis, transport and logistics in deep trouble, mining and agriculture in decline. What the ANC wants to do to health is what they did to Eskom. The introduction of this bill is an admission of guilt by the ANC government that they failed to deliver quality healthcare after 30 years at the helm. Had they succeeded, national health insurance would not be on the table. The problem we have is one of governance. And with elections around the corner, the ANC needs something to direct attention away from their failure. They offer up this ideologically based myth that the problems in public health care have to do with the money chain and not the delivery of the service. This is a fallacy. Our experiences in South Africa confirm this. A compelling indicator of the state of neglect, the corruption, the poor leadership is the growing number of medical legal claims in the public service. They have reached eye-watering proportion that pose an ever-present risk to the financial viability of the public service. So when citizens are led to believe they can get their health services at those clean, well-maintained, effectively run private facilities, rather than what they've had to put up with for the last 30 years, no wonder they have joyful expectations. It all sounds too good to be true. The existence and the growth in private healthcare and emergency medical services is the direct result of a poorly run public health service. The ANC solution to this is to kill the private healthcare service, eliminate the competition, rather than partner with it. There is another myth that is being sold, and that is NHI will bring about universal health coverage, namely a good quality service that is available to everyone everywhere. But in South Africa, universal health coverage already exists. What is missing is the good quality, and I emphasize the good quality. That's at the nub of the problem. All those citizens who pay for private medical services through private medical aid and insurances have a legal right to attend at any public health facility, but they choose not to. They choose to use their own money to fund their own health care because they want the quality that is missing in public health. And again, it comes down to quality. The Minister of Finance admits that government does not have the money to implement the bill. Estimates put the cost between anywhere of 200 billion to 400 billion in the first year alone. So where will this money come from? And we have to be honest. It can only come from more taxes. The medical aid contributions and the medical insurance contributions come from after-tax earnings in those individuals. One is compelled to ask at this juncture, what has happened to those NHI pilots? Have they gone to live with the dodo birds? As Honourable Governor said at the Finance Portfolios hearing on the Health Department's midterm budget review, we have to use what we have to the best of our ability. Budget cuts are a reality for all of government. The outgoing health ombud who recently retired, Professor Malagapuru William Makoba, was scathing in his summation of public health. Having dealt with 10,000 complaints in his term, he is uniquely placed to offer an honest critique and good advice. The Life Esidimeni and Rahima Musa cases point clearly to a lack of leadership as the underlying problem.
Honourable Bapti, thank you. Your time has expired.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. The next member is the Honourable Tinkosi for 3 minutes on behalf of the EFF. Honourable Nkosi T of the EFF for 3 minutes. Honourable Nkosi T. Honourable Nkosi T of the EFF. Honourable Nkosi T. Honourable members, it seems as if Honourable Nkosi is not in the sitting. I therefore, her name falls off and we move to the next member, which is Honourable C.M. Shinga of the NFP for 1 minute. Honourable Shinga.
Greetings, Honourable Speaker, Honourable members. The National Freedom Party understands that the NHI seeks to improve the shortcomings of the public sector healthcare system, which include a lack of qualified healthcare workers, inadequate infrastructure, tight budgetary limits, and outdated equipment. However, the public health system is straining to offer an acceptable level of treatment, both in terms of meeting the standards of the NHI certification and the expectations of an increased pool of NHI users who would previously have had medical aid. We are then troubled by the widely expressed concern of the possibility of corruption, given the history of the state capture and corruption in other state-owned enterprises. Corruption might lead to the misappropriation of funds at different levels in the NHI system. Too little supervision exists regarding the Minister of Health, excessive personnel.
Honorable Shenga. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Speaker.
Time has expired.
It opens at
The next
9 o'clock, so
speaker-
my assistant should be inside.
Honorable Mayor, please. Thank you. The next speaker is Honorable Esther Rajbansi for 1 minute on behalf of the MF.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, honourable members. The National Health Insurance Bill is finally becoming a reality. We had started the scoping process when I came to this legislature more than 20 years ago. With growing medical conditions, we need to use scarce medical resources efficiently. The preamble of this bill sums the good intentions of the government to ensure that our citizens receive adequate health care with good health outcomes in a system of effective monitoring. Much more work has to be done, and this will take many more years to become a fully fledged system. Hence, the Minority Front supports this bill and requests that alternate healthcare practices be incorporated in the framework as a priority, because this will fast-track buy-in from citizens who are accustomed to different methods of well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mrs. Rajbansi. The ATM is not in the house, and therefore the next speaker for 1 minute is the Honorable S. Manqele on behalf of the ACDP. Honorable S. Manqele of the ACDP. Honorable S. Manqele of the ACDP. Honorable Manqele is not in the house, therefore his name falls off. We'll now go to Honorable S.M. Sonjika for 7 minutes on behalf of the ANC.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Good morning to honorable members. May I please request to switch off the video, Honorable Speaker? With your permission, I'm parked on the side of the road. It's mainly for the background that would not be nice in your...
Are you sure you are not driving, Honorable Sonjika?
Certainly not, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, you can then switch off the video and continue.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chief Whip, Honorable Premier, Leader of Government Business, Honorable Members, Sanbonani. We occasionally fail to recognize the issues and inconsistencies that are part of our past. The unrepresentative closed legislature that enacted oppressive laws. However, clearly there are those who find it inconvenient when we bring up the past, but the past will not be forgotten in merely 29 years. The goal of realizing a high standard of living for all South Africans, particularly the people of KwaZulu-Natal, is what motivates us as a liberation movement to keep moving forward with our efforts to further transform this legislature into a people's legislature that responds to their demand. As such, through this concerted efforts of our liberation movement, today's legislature is an open, transparent, participatory institution that is dedicated to the creation of a better life for all. The dreams, hopes, desires of our people today are firmly rooted in the Constitution, which is legally and noble ideas outlined in the Freedom Charter. It is because of this that the African National Congress wants to keep pursuing its goals of creating a more equal, successful, and healthy society. Honorable members, enacting this piece of legislation to create a national health insurance program is indeed a moral, just, forward-thinking, and essential step. It is yet an illustration depicting how the ANC support communities working together with them to find solutions to our challenges. Unlike the ideals of liberals that are always stands opposed to progressive development of our people, advocated by parties such as the Democratic Alliance, the Democratic Alliance, and those who are colluding with it, those who are known to have supported apartheid, remains opposed to any legislation that is championing the rights of our communities. The preamble of this bill is in line with the South African Constitution, which states that historical injustices must be addressed, that everyone has a fundamental right to health care, and that the state or government must guarantee that citizens' rights to this care are gradually realized. In the 7 public hearings, stakeholders across length and breadth of our province came together to discuss shared goals of our government. These goals emphasize primary areas of focus of our health that speak to the aspirations of millions of people in our province. Honorable Mavuso has clearly outlined that significant progress that has been made, and it will not regress on this progress. Equally, we have not diverted from what the MEC of Health in our province, when she said, I quote, "It remains an indisputable fact that infrastructure investment, development and maintenance are a vital part of a successful implementation of universal health coverage through NHI. Honorable Speaker, it is unfortunate that the benefactors of apartheid and colonialism, together with those puppets, will reject this bill that will be surest means for social political dominance. Still, in whatever way, it is time that this is necessitated a massive recognition of unification of a current health system, treating both public and private sectors as equal without fear. Hence, it is crucial for me to applaud the carefully planned decision of the Portfolio Committee of Health to advise that it would be appropriate to hasten the implementation of the National Health Insurance via finishing the enabling legislation and putting in place the NHI fund. Nathi siwukhongolose siyawuseka umthetho sivivinyo futhi siyazi ukuthi abantu bakithi bayajabulela ukuthi lo mthetho sisekelo usufinyelela esiphethweni. Abantu bakithi kade babehlupheka uhulumeni wabantu uyabasebenzela. Labo ababehambisana nencindezelo kuyaphela ngabo kwezempilo kufanele sonke silingane. Ngiyabonga kakhulu ukhongolose uyayisupporta ibill.
Thank you. That was the last member to debate. I honestly request members to both mute their mics when they are not debating, and so also as to switch off their videos. Honorable members, before I call in the next speaker, which is the chairperson, you must know that after the chairperson finishes, no member will be allowed to come in, because we'll be also looking at the numbers for the voting. After the chairperson, you will not be allowed inside the platform. I now call upon the Honorable N.R. Majola to give the response to the debate for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Mahubela. Without failing, I will start with the abstinence that has been done by the IFP. To me, it's showing the way how insensitive the IFP is to the lives of the KZN people. This bill is a bill that has provided some acts, some rules, some regulations, how it will be implemented. For them to keep on asking and talking about things that are not being done properly now, whereas there are some rules and regulations as well as acts. To me, that is not giving sense. On top of that, we must understand that this bill will not be implemented away from an independent body. That is what we call is the office, which is an independent regulatory body which is responsible for the monitoring of the healthcare services rendered in each health facilities. When you are talking of Honorable Bamti, he is talking of the centrality. When did he start to know about the centrality? All these years and decades, we have been listening to, we have been exposed to a situation as the South Africans of getting the central messages from the white minority for each and every decision that has been taken for the healthcare services. Today, he is coming up telling us about the centrality, querying the centrality, and yet we have been exposed to that. When we are talking of transformation, it's like a desk that is standing. It will only move until you push it. That is what we are doing. Honorable Shinga, thank you for what you have for your consideration and what we have seen as something progressive when it comes to the issues of this bill. When you are looking at what has been said by Honorable Mavuso is showing exactly what is he has articulated the bill exactly the way it is supposed to be. Because when we are talking of a bill, you are not going to come up with a bill and then you come up with the negative issues in the line of the operation. As I have said, there is an Office of Health Standards that is responsible for that. Today, we are talking of the CCMDs. Today, we are talking of so many things that have already been started under the ideal clinics, which is part of the duties of that Office of the Health Standards that is monitoring that each and every individual is getting what is supposed to be getting when she goes to the health facilities. Yes, we know that there are still some gaps. Hence, we are coming up with the infrastructure grant that are also talking to the issue of how do we repair, how do we make sure that our hospitals, they look like hospitals. And we all know that we talk of province of the regional hospital in Port Shepstone. When you are looking at it, comparing it with far back years. So it's showing well that when we are coming to the implementation of this NHI, it's going to happen. You go to Wahlabisa. That hospital has never been in that situation. But today you are talking of that hospital. You go to Pixlika Isaga. What more would you like to see this government doing when it comes to the issue of the infrastructure? Yes, we have been faced with the issue of the electricity. A lot has been done to make sure that no facility is being strained and we're having patients dying on the theater table because of inavailability of electricity. All those are part of this NHI bill that was supposed to be supporting. We have been faced with the issue of the water. You come up with the water, come up with the electricity. All that when you go to the infrastructure department, we are not playing. And you go to the e-plan. When we are implementing that e-plan, it is showing that we are not going to have these long queues. Once you enter the offices where you register, by the time you reach the doctor, all your information will be there. What more are you looking at? When I said initially, this bill is coming up with the Health Act, with the rules, with the regulations, and with this independent body that is not going to say, I am coming up on behalf of the ANC. I am an independent body to make sure that each facility is providing the healthcare services based on the norms and standards. You have seen the issue of the equipment when we were going out to visit these institutions. When you are looking at the equipment in a delivery or in a maternity ward, you could see that the maternity ward, that is the type of the equipment that is there, it is in line with the norms and standards as established by this regulatory body.
Honorable Majola, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Your time has
Thank you so much.
been exhausted. Honorable members, we have, before I go to the final part, we have been dealing with some housekeeping matters. We request that any member that we may not have seen that still has two gadgets that are connected to remove the second gadget. But of the 4 members that we have seen at the time, we have removed. I am making this known so that it's not as if there are members that were taken off or there are members who appear twice, because this is going to be a vote. We have, with the help of the IT unit, we have had members that had 2 gadgets. 1 gadget was put on hold, and the members have since disconnected such gadgets. And the last member has also just disconnected his second gadget. We want you to know that as we go into this part now, it seems as if all is well. Now, there is still 1 member that still has the gadget. Honorable Mshengu, disconnect one of your gadgets, please, Honorable Member. SW Mshengu, disconnect one. No, it's not you. It's not you. Sorry, it's another one now. It's another stage that is there. No problem. You are fine now. Thank you, Honorable Mshengu.
Eric, that is very.
Usuyipatilika manje mphephethe kubene uthule cwaka. Honorable members, thank you for the participation in the debate. We have now come to the end of the debate on the conferral of a final mandate on the National Health Insurance Bill, B11B 2019. The House now needs to vote on the final mandate. As per the recommendation of the Health Portfolio Committee, I now put the question to the House as follows. The KZN Legislature agrees to confer a final mandate on 1. The KZN Provincial Delegation to the National Council of Provinces to vote in support of the National Insurance Bill B11B 2019 at the relevant NCOP Select Committee. 2. The head of the provincial delegation to the NCOP or a delegate designated by the head of the delegation to cast a vote in favor of the National Health Insurance Bill B11B 2019 at the NCOP plenary. As indicated prior to the start of the debate, honorable members, I will now go party by party to obtain the vote and thereafter check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. The presiding, I am now going to parties. The first party is the IFP.
Honorable Speaker.
IFP.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Gunen.
Honorable members of the legislature, the Honorable Leader of the official opposition, the Honorable Chief Whip, and the IFP votes to abstain. Thank you.
The DA.
Greetings, Madam Speaker. The Democratic Alliance votes against.
The EFF.
As the EFF, we reject this bill because it doesn't address the...
Honorable member, your face must show and you just vote. You don't tell us that because there was time for debate. Show your face so that we know who's voting and you say the vote of your party. Thank you, sir.
Speaker, let me fix my...
EFF. EFF, Honorable Ngubane, what's happening with you? Honorable Twala, you are also in the House as the party leader. If your whip is unable to adhere, you can come in.
No, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Due to network, Speaker, can I please, my network is very bad.
You first show the face, then we grant you when you have shown the face. I think EFF mhlambi sayozilungisela. Yes, Honorable Twala, you are now.
The EFF does not support the bill. Thank you.
The NFP.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, we will vote to support the bill.
The MF.
Honorable Speaker, the MF supports this NHI bill.
ACDP was not in the House. The ATM is not in the house. The African National Congress.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, honourable members. The African National Congress support the bill. Thank you.
Honourable members, we now have the vote of all parties. Is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? Any member who wants to vote differently from their party or who seeks to abstain? If there is none, can I ask for the tally of the votes, Secretary?
Votes in favor, 38. Vote against, 15. Abstention, 10. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Secretary. Honourable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Those in favour, 38, against 15, abstentions 10. The ayes have it. That concludes voting on the conferral of a final mandate on the National Health Insurance Bill B11B of 2019. And that brings us to the end of the item on the order paper concerning the conferral of a final mandate on the National Health Insurance Bill B11B 2019. Honourable members, thank you for coming and also ensuring that we don't stay here for long. Earlier on, I said we will indulge the Honourable Premier later. Honourable Premier, are you having any announcements that you want to make?
Good morning, Honourable Speaker. No, Honourable Speaker, we don't have any announcement. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable members. Thank you so much. The House will now be adjourned until the 23rd at the main chamber there by the Senate building in 139 Langalibalele Road, Pietermaritzburg. At the main chamber in the Senate building, the House will meet on the 23rd of November at 9 o'clock. This meeting has now been adjourned.
Order, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Makubela. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Speaker.